Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to Better Together. When you know better, you get better. That's our goal here every day. It is Tuesday, October 27th, 2020. Just days away from Halloween, everybody. Our quote of the day: self-love was once a catchphrase that fell easily from my lips, but it came to mean the stronghold for my survival. That is Mike Johnson, who is the author of Making the Love You Want. You might remember Mike Johnson from The Bachelorette. Am I getting my franchise?
Yes, you
right
are.
Here?
You nailed it.
You never know. I'm always scared once I have to get to the point where I say Bachelor, Bachelorette. I'm like, ooh, which one is it? Always. I'll always get it wrong, but I got it right.
You did. You nailed it.
Welcome to our Heal Squad. Thank you guys for being with us each and every episode, each and every day. We are still coming to you live from Connecticut. Not for long. We are going to take a quick little trip. But we will be back. Today we're going to be chatting, like I said, with Bachelor Alum turned best-selling author Mike Johnson about his new book. And he's going to teach us some actionable ways to find self-care in our lives. We were chatting with him moments before, kind of checking our shots, and it's a little inside baseball, but what are we going to do? He was talking about how he's always smiling, and I was laughing because my mom, that was her line for me all the time, was, Maria, she's always smiling.
Oh.
And that was when I was little.
You still smile like
maybe
that.
we'll have a smile off.
Cute. I love that.
Although he's got like the perfect teeth and all of
he
that.
does.
So he would win. Anyhow, thank you for being with us, guys. If you haven't clicked subscribe on YouTube, please do. If you haven't followed us on Better Together with Maria on Instagram. It is our hub, along with MariaMenounos.com, that Kelsey is transforming with our friend Justin. We are going to be adding all of my favorite products in there. So things that you may want to buy. It's funny, Alyssa when was it? A couple days ago, when Alyssa was here, she saw this pillow in my room and she goes, what's that thing? And it's the Nurse Jamie pillow.
Yep.
If you guys don't know about the Nurse Jamie pillow,
that's my next investment.
that will be in there. When does that all go live?
That's a great question. The lovely Tia, our intern, is working with me on it. She's incredible.
Tia.
Yeah, she is the best. So she and I are working on it. I was working on all the affiliate links last night. I'm waiting for a few. But I think at the end of this week,
we should
start
posting, and then we can be adding.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'll tell you guys all about that once our affiliate thing is up so that you guys can know about each and every product. But I'm going to be sharing all of those there.
Awesome.
If you haven't joined our Patreon, we are getting ready for our next healing event with Patty Penn. She is Reiki master to the stars. She's amazing. She was in the documentary that we all love here, Heal. If you have not seen the documentary Heal on Netflix, I highly, highly recommend it. It is incredible. It really shows all of the different alternative ways to attack your health, and we learned so much from it, and I've used almost every healer or therapist in there. They're incredible. And so check us out on Patreon. Just click the link tree in my Instagram account at Maria Menounos or at Better Together with Maria and click right in. It's super easy. Join our Heal Squad. We have a lot of fun because we all get to connect on Zoom, which is fun. Awesome. So we all get to see each other, which is a really special part of the intimacy of our Patreon team and squad. And so you don't want to miss that. It's a lot of fun. It's very helpful. It is transformative. It can be life-changing, along with this show, obviously. But then you get the ad-free episodes. You also get extra content. So join us over there. And Jeff, I know we are racking up all these amazing reviews from everybody who has been so gracious to share their thoughts on the show. Do you have any pulled out for today?
You know, I am actually going to throw it to Kels. We were just talking before the show, and we think it'd be fun if we kind of alternated.
Okay, here we go.
That's right. Jeff is tossing to me. This is from Dynasty, GY. Love and light, it says. Absolutely obsessed with your podcast. Maria, you have the best guests, and I learned so much about health and wellness. Something extremely important to me right now. Your podcast not only spreads knowledge, but so much love and light. Thank you for doing what you do. And this is from
Thank you.
CD624. Love your podcast, your content, your guests, you. Everything about it. You are always my first choice podcast to listen to. So thank you.
Yes, we're first choice.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you for everybody who is taking the time to share what you feel about the show, how it's helping you, and your thoughts. I know everybody's super busy, so we really appreciate it. It's really helpful for us, and we're trying to get to 1,000 comments on Apple Podcasts real fast.
Before December, you guys. Come on.
Yeah.
We can do it.
We can do it. We're at like 9 something now.
Yeah, like a little over 9:20.
Very exciting.
I know.
It's very exciting.
I know.
Okay. And as you know, we mentioned yesterday that we're changing up our schedule. So if you are subscribing to YouTube, you will get those notifications. But we are going to be dropping our interviews at 5 a.m. Eastern, Jeff.
That's right. It's 5 a.m. on all platforms.
So literally you can start your day with us rather than have to wait till midday to get the show. So we were really excited for that suggestion from Kels and Jeff. And so we are implementing it, and we hope that it's going to help you guys enjoy the show and hopefully bring more people to it as well, so that they can get better too.
That's right. You can listen while you're getting ready. You can listen while you're making your morning coffee. I mean, so many options now.
I know.
I'm really excited for this. You wake up with a notification.
You know what's funny? Grace Harry, who we had on the show, I really liked how she framed trying to get this kind of stuff into her life and making it easy. Like I now will play my chanting, my chant breathing room app music in the shower, and I'll chant so I can kind of like get in like a right flow. And I never thought about doing stuff while I was in the shower other than shampooing and washing.
Getting clean.
Yeah, other than getting clean. So it's cool. And so
great.
I know that I always listen to, before we came to Connecticut, when I would get ready in the morning, I would listen to different things on YouTube, whether it was Abraham Hicks or Wayne Dyer or whatever. Now I'm listening to Jenna Kutcher's podcast, Gold Digger, who we got to get on the show.
Yeah.
So hopefully you guys are listening to us.
Yay.
And starting your day right. Let's talk Halloween costumes, Jeff. I know you've got this pulled for a reason.
Yes. Well, of course, Halloween is in 4 days, but I like to throw quizzes in here now and then. And I found a really fun list of all the most popular Halloween costumes by year. So I thought what would be fun would be to take some of our birth years and ask if you're able to guess. And what's fun is the most recent 2 years have the same costume. So I'll be interested to see if you guys can think about what it is. But
You wouldn't tell me.
The most recent 2 years would probably be Frozen.
Oh.
Actually, Frozen's on there, but not the most recent too.
Okay, that was
Trump.
probably 4 years ago. I mean, Trump and Biden, I think this year will be amazing, like Halloween costumes.
100%. But we're gonna get there.
Okay.
I'm gonna start. The list started in the 90s, so I guess selfishly we're just gonna do Kels and my birth years.
Perfect, because I would not know what would be popular in 1978. It could be Cabbage Patch Kids.
Cute.
That's a good guess, actually. We'll go check it. But I'm gonna start with 1991. Of course, that's my birth year.
You were born in 91, Jeff.
91.
Jeff. Oh my God. Carry on.
Am I old or young?
I mean, you're talking to someone who's born in 78, so what do you think I'm thinking, Jeff? Do you really need to point it out? Do you want to like drill it down a little deeper?
The reason I ask, Maria, is because I feel like you are so much cooler than I am. Like, I feel like you read. I read as like a 50-year-old like dad, so
Jeff,
it's all good.
I'm drinking out of my hydro flask. Of course I'm cool.
I can't even do it.
100%. Okay, 91.
Cheers.
Any guesses as to what might be the most popular Halloween costume that year?
Okay, so let me think. 1991. I think I might have been. Okay, I graduated in 96. So subtract 4, 92. Okay, so that was 8th grade. In 8th grade, so what was I listening to at Dunkin' Donuts working there? I was listening to Hootie and the Blowfish, probably.
Great artist.
Alanis Morissette kind of stuff was happening around then, I think. So I'm trying to put myself back in that time frame. What was a popular...
You're right with pop culture, Maria. It's definitely pop culture, but maybe think more what you might be seeing in the theaters, the cinemas.
Yeah, I know. I was getting to that. I got to pull my head. First thing I think of is what was my job then? Because then I remember the music. And then if we think about movies, it was probably like Scream or something was popular around then.
Good guess. In fact, Scream is on here, but you're in the wrong year.
Okay. Yeah, it was a little later because it was later in high school. So I want to be right. I want to know. But just tell me.
Take one guess. Take a guess.
I did. I took a couple guesses.
Okay.
Okay, so think about Arnold. Think about the Governor.
Oh my God. The Terminator.
Terminator. There you go.
Amazing.
That was the most popular costume your year.
91 was, yeah, it was the Terminator was
Jeff,
everywhere.
can you imagine you're born on the year of the Terminator? Like, you were
I
so
know.
not the Terminator.
It's not quite a fit. As I was
Like,
thinking
can you
maybe
imagine
more,
like Kelsey's was Frozen? Like, you know, she's like this
Let
princess.
it
Like, that would make
go.
sense.
yeah,
Would it?
I don't quite have Arnold energy, I don't think.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
okay. Okay, so let's
okay.
go to Kelsey.
Kelsey's 94.
Holy shit. I was a sophomore in high school.
Okay, I'm going to hint. This is revolving around TV to help you.
Ooh.
Friends.
Friends is a great guess, but it's not right.
Wait,
Think
let
about
me-
more kids' TV.
Oh. Barney?
Barney, that's what I was going to say.
Oh, Barney's on there. The year before was Barney.
Elmo? Sesame Street?
There
No.
are 5 of them, and they love multicolored costumes.
Oh, Teletubbies.
Teletubbies.
Not quite Teletubbies.
Oh,
There was a
come
recent
on.
reboot. It's more like I was one for Halloween. Like, I think they joined together. It's kind of like Transformers.
Power Rangers?
Power Rangers.
Nice.
Whoa. Okay.
Nice.
Good guess. All right.
Power
Now
Rangers.
this one
Love it.
I would have never gotten. It's 2019, 2020, the same. Sorry, 2018 and 2019 are the same one. I would have
Frozen.
never gotten this.
Frozen.
It's not Frozen. It revolves around video games. This is how I feel old.
Oh.
What's that really Fortnite.
Yeah.
It's Fortnite.
Yeah.
Do you guys know anything about Fortnite?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Not enough. But
I don't know a thing about Fortnite, but it's everywhere.
I think that's the video game that I played at Vin's once. He sat me in front of his video game thing and he said, "You need to learn video games." He's like, "It's the future." And I was like, okay. And I sat there for like 2.5 hours
No, thank you.
and really got into it. It was really cool. And I just recently was like, I got to get back into this. So it's funny you say that because that's going to be my holiday gift to myself is I'm going to get into the gaming world because
Wait, I
really
love
think-
this.
Yeah, I think it's the future. I think we're going to be living in gaming. I think we're going to be living in virtual reality. I don't look. But by the way, look at where we are in the pandemic. Right, we're all stuck at home and we're virtually connecting. Now imagine we can never go out again. Right?
You're right.
Like then you
It's
have
scary.
virtual worlds, but these already exist and they're so cool. So I mean, we got the goggles and stuff. They're insane. It is. I'm in a gorgeous screening room in there. I'm like, why would I ever leave this place? This place is amazing.
I love it.
scary.
Well, you'll have to document your journey,
Yeah,
Maria.
please.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so then this begs the question: what were you guys for Halloween when you were younger?
I was a witch.
I was a witch too.
Yeah.
I won my Halloween
Nice.
costume thing once with my
Nice.
witch costume.
Trying to think what else I was. Definitely a witch.
I was a witch a lot of times because we were
Oh.
poor, so I kept reusing the costume.
I did that too. Oh, my mom was like, "Yeah, you can figure it out."
Yeah.
That Hannah and I, my best friend and I, were ketchup and mustard. That was cute.
Oh, that's amazing. Meanwhile, I'm going to
Yeah.
pull up a picture of one of mine
Oh
while
my
you're
gosh,
doing
please
that.
do.
Okay.
Jeff, what about you?
Well, very on brand. 2 years in a row, I was a Power Ranger. So
No,
I'm
you
just
weren't.
like that list. Yes.
Were you really?
That's awesome.
Yep. I was I think I was the green one because he was the coolest.
Oh, was he?
And then when I was very young, there's a pretty cute Halloween video of me dressed as a clown. And you can tell that I have 2 older sisters and a mom who loved putting red rosy cheeks on me.
Cute.
Stop.
Trying to think what else I was.
Guys, I have Halloween costumes in here. I'm going to share this with you. This is me and Derek at a party. So these are older, but this was a really good one. My assistant Pat at the time worked really hard to put this one together. I don't know why I don't have internet, and our connection has been a little spotty, which is interesting. So maybe that's why, but we could add these in later in post. But
Yeah.
okay, so here's a picture of me and Derek. I was a zombie because of Walking
Terrifying.
Dead, and I bet
Terrifying.
that's probably been a popular costume recently in recent years. But he got this girl. Her name, she was like the zombie queen of makeup for zombies.
Oh my
And she
gosh.
came to my trailer at Extra, and she had a rib from Chili's that she molded into my face, and it was crazy. So that's photo number 1.
Oh God.
Another time, Dimitri and I went to this. We would go to the Casamigos party, and we had no time to get a costume. So last minute, we went and got these like cheap army little onesies, and so that was
Oh, look
another
how cute
one
you are.
with blonde
That's
hair.
fun.
And then Let's see if we've got another one in here. Oh, here's this is her making it for me. I'll pop this video up. You guys can see it's pretty crazy. But what I really want to find is my favorite Halloween ever was me and Toto. So when we first moved to LA, so Dorothy, The Wizard of Oz is my favorite movie ever. And I always wanted to be, I always wanted a Toto. I wanted a dog. It was like my dream my whole life. When we moved to LA, we went to the Glendale Galleria Mall.
Oh my gosh.
And I remember we went into the pet store because I would always beeline it to the pet store my whole life. That was my thing. And we saw this dog and we were like, oh my God, it's baby. And so we held her and she was so little and we loved her so much, but she was so expensive. She was like $1,000 or something.
Wow.
And they kept trying to push us onto this little Timmy guy. He was like
Timmy.
tan.
Timmy.
Kevin was like, he's a little suck ass. He's like,
Kevin.
the second time we went in, so I screwed up the story. So we met Baby. She was amazing, but she was too expensive. And then we cried for like a month at least every night. We need Baby. We miss Baby. Let's go break Baby out of the pet store. And this is 21 years ago, everybody, before we didn't know anything about pet adoption and the overpopulation problem in LA because we had just moved from Boston where people go to breeders and they keep their dogs, right? It wasn't like a big problem back here. Anyhow, and it wasn't something I was aware of. So I think it was like a month or two later, we went to the pet store again and we see her and she's all mangy and just like hot mess. No one's buying her. The price had been slashed. And that's when they were trying to force like little Timmy onto us. They're like, oh, Timmy, look at Timmy. And we're like, we don't want Timmy. He's perfect. We want Baby. She needs us. So out comes the Discover credit card at that time. And I put Baby on the credit card. We literally were like, we're rescuing her. Because we asked them, we're like, what are you going to do with her? And they're like, we don't know. No one's going to buy her now. And it was just one of those things where we were like, oh no, what if they like do something bad because they're not going to make money and they don't want to show people that you can just get a dog anyway, that they'll give it away. So we took Baby home and it was just before Halloween. And so guess who got her Dorothy costume?
Yes, girl.
And I don't know why we're glitching.
It's Jeff's camera. Jeff, your camera's glitching. That's okay. I still have it on you.
Okay. So guess who got her Dorothy costume? Me.
You did.
Guess who put little Baby, mangy little Baby, in the Toto basket? Me.
You did.
And that was my favorite Halloween ever.
That's amazing. We need pics.
I love it.
I have them.
We need pics.
I
wonder.
We'll throw them in this video. We'll throw them in.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
We have to ask Mike what he's going to be for Halloween / what he's been.
Yeah. So now Kelsey and I are traveling. We're going to go back home. I got to see my family and handle some business back there. But ironically, our work, we have work things back here on the East Coast. So we're actually just going to come back here and then my family will meet us for the holidays. But funny enough, our friend Ashley, who works with Bellamy Hair, got us some wigs to try. So we have some wigs that we're going to sport to the airport with our hazmat suits. Because when we wore our hazmat suits the first time we traveled back in July, people looked at us like they wanted to kill us. It was not a good feeling. And I was definitely a little concerned about breaking out the hazmat suits for the return flight. But now, because it's Halloween, I think people are going to think we're just dressed up for Halloween, especially when I'm in orange hair and she's in pink hair.
It's going to be amazing. Pics to come, you guys.
Pics to come. We will be in our hazmat suits. We will be,
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
And it's funny because I remember when we traveled the first time, people still weren't really officially traveling yet. It was kind of still a no-no. And I was scared to even post that we were traveling, even though it was obvious we were traveling, but like showing the pictures of us in the hazmat suits, I was like, oh gosh, I just don't want to deal with all the haters and stuff. But we're posting this time.
1,000%.
Kelsey got us face shields and all kinds of things. Because I'm like nervous. I don't want to be traveling, but we have no choice.
Yeah.
So we're gonna. You just got to do it safely, which is what you guys are doing, and I will personally enjoy the photos. So please send them our way.
Oh yeah. So what are we technically for Halloween? Are we hazmat suit?
COVID queens.
We're COVID queens. Kelsey, you're a genius.
Thank you.
We're gonna be COVID queens.
We're COVID queens.
Can we write that on the back of our?
We should. We 1000% should.
COVID queens with a KW.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Whoa. Okay, nothing's ever going to beat Dorothy and Baby, and Dorothy and Toto.
But this is going to be pretty good.
This is number 2 on my
list.
list.
The best part too, Jeff, is Maria's going to have, I don't want to give it away, but like she has her beanie, I have my black baseball cap. Like we're going to look so good.
I can't wait. I love it.
So good.
I can't wait.
It's going to be great.
I can't. This is so funny. All right. Well, why don't we get to our conversation with the lovely Mike Johnson? So, of course, surviving reality TV on multiple incarnations of The Bachelor, a deployment with the military, and countless other challenges throughout his life and career. Mike Johnson, now a writer and spokesperson focused on how our ability to overcome challenges stems from within, with his focus on self-love. The breakout star from The Bachelorette and Bachelor in Paradise and Bachelor is transforming audiences by showcasing his global influence through brave storytelling and, of course, his signature big smile. Flash that sucker. Yep, there we go. Mike Johnson, everybody. So you are in San Antonio right now.
I'm in San Antonio right now. Yes. I just moved to Austin, but I'm out here.
Like everybody else, right? So you moved from
right?
San Antonio to Austin?
I moved from San Antonio to Austin, but it was a way shorter drive than everyone from California coming down.
That's so funny. I know everybody's moving there now.
It's the place to be. Like, you should come out.
Listen, I love Austin. I love Texas. And I would, but I think now everyone's going to be there. Are you worried it's going to be like crazy overcrowded and we're going to have like LA traffic in Austin now?
It's already like LA traffic in Austin because we only got one highway, 35. But when you live in the epicenter downtown, you just walk everywhere.
Ooh, good point. Good point. I've been there so many times for like South by Southwest and everything. Yeah, you just walk around and they got those what are those called? Those carriage thingies people ride? Rickshaws?
Rickshaws.
Yeah.
Oh, rickshaws the thing? I know what you're talking about. Yeah, where the guy like is riding a bike basically.
Yeah.
And you sit in the back.
So fun.
Yeah. You got those all over.
Yeah, so it's easy to get around.
Definitely.
So, okay, we have so much to cover with you. First of all, how are you liking this season? Are you watching?
I'm definitely watching this season. I got to watch Claire find her love. I think that it's so different because there are so much older guys. And on my season, I think our youngest guy was 23, and I was the oldest guy at 31 at the time. And now, like, I'm looking at these guys, I'm like, their brains are different. The way they're wired is different. Their personalities are different. So it's completely different than what I was on.
Yeah, in what ways?
Thing for me to watch. They're not, I don't think that age defines maturity at all. I got some uncles that are like 73 and still doing crazy stuff. So.
But in general, it does, though. It, like, for the most part, it does, Mike.
I was told by one of my chiefs in the military, he said, older people are just slower at doing things. And they see you mess up and do it first, so therefore they don't got to do it because they see you messed up and did it. But older people are still goofy and do immature things at times. We got some of the guys on the show. There was a 40-year-old dude, I think he had 2 dogs, Claire's dogs on his shirt. Like, there's older people do the same thing. We all do the same thing.
That's true.
But I like this season. I think that, I'm not gonna lie, if I was one of the other guys and I felt that Claire wanted Dale only, my personality might have changed. I would make my presence known. I would say that.
Yeah. What would you do? Would you go up to her and just say, listen, if you think this is the guy, let me know so I can go home? I mean, that happened in the Hannah season where that guy, I think it was like Luke or something, went up to her and was like, hey, listen, if you're going to have sex with a million guys, like, I'm not your guy.
Season.
Oh, it was your season. Yeah.
Yeah. That was,
yeah.
Yeah. That was on our season with Luke P.
Luke P.
I wouldn't say that to her. I think that if it's already known, I don't need to say something to her that I feel I already know the answer to. I just need to let her know that I am just as superior, if not more superior, and show her through my actions.
So you would try to win her over?
Hell yeah. That's my girl. If I like her, yeah.
Okay, but isn't it challenging, Mike, when you go into this situation? Like, I pop in and out of the series. I feel like I actually have popped in more than I've popped out, to be honest. As I look back, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that season. And I'm like, shit, I've been really watching it. I didn't even realize. But I wonder, when you go on, do you always know who the Bachelorette is before, and then like do homework on them so that when you get there, you're like already goo goo gaga? Because sometimes, like in this season, I'm like, wait, she was mad at this one guy for not knowing her. And
Well, I tweeted about that, right? So I think we're talking about the guy named Brandon.
yeah.
And that's his fault. And the reason it's his fault is because he said, I wanted you to be the Bachelorette. And once she asked him, she said, oh, why did you like me? He set himself up for failure.
Good
so
point.
I had never watched the show, so I didn't know who Hannah B was at the time until I came out of the limo. And I was like, oh, you're really cute. And she was like, thank you. And so I never said something like, oh, I watched the show, I wanted you to be the Bachelorette. It was, to me, it was more of a blind date, and I wanted to get to know her.
Got it. Okay.
That was just my approach. I can't speak for everybody though.
Do you feel like this show works? Like, do you feel like you really get to know Hannah? I mean, you're vying for her attention. If you don't get one of those single outings or whatever, it's really hard. And even if you get the single outing, I'm sure within that there's so much like frame effing, as we would call it in the business, where it's like, okay, hold on, we got to get this shot. We got to get this shot. We got to get this shot. I don't know how it works behind the scenes, but are you really getting to know her and really like getting to a place where you feel like you can do things, or do you think it just gets escalated because you're on the show?
No, I think that if you don't get a one-on-one, you definitely don't have a shot. Like, she's not going to have time, or he or she as the lead is not going to have time to get to know you. But like, I had 2 one-on-one dates, so I definitely got to get to know Hannah. And then especially if you get an overnight with that person, you may not be able to marry them right away, but you definitely can see if you want to be with that person forever or be with them for an extended period of time. So I think the show 100% can help you find love. I mean, psychology proves that if you and I, let's say you're single, if you and I were to go to Rome together and do some bungee jump, something crazy, and get our adrenaline pumping, that's a moment that we have together, and we're going to like each other more, just off those things. So I think that people look at it back home, it's such a condensed time frame, which it is, and then there's like 30 guys that were trying to get the attention of one woman. If you make your presence known and just get out there, get out in front, I think that you can absolutely find love on The Bachelorette.
Wow.
Or The Bachelor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think if Hannah had picked you for like, and you had gone further along, I think it was hometown dates that you had missed, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think if you had gotten further along that you would have had the same issue that Luke P had?
No.
Like fantasy
no.
suite nights?
No. And I've said this to the homies before, and I have no problem saying it again. If Hannah and I did hometowns, and in the example that you're giving, Hannah slept with one of the other or 2 of the other guys, I know how good I am. Like I said, like, ain't nothing else happening.
Whoa. But you would be okay. You wouldn't feel like he did, where it's like, I can't, if I love you and now I know you're with somebody else, it would hurt.
I get where Luke was coming from, but he has to understand that's a part of the show, right? He watches the show. Like, what the hell are you going there for, bro? Like, I was the one who never watched the show. He watches the show, so he knows that. For what he should know is, one, you can't, if she's the lead of the show, you can't tell her what to do, right?
Yeah.
And so therefore, if he knows how the show goes, he needs to follow suit.
Mm-hmm.
And he needs to be confident in himself to where she could have done that and still want him, right?
Yeah. Why do you think Hannah didn't choose you in the end?
Only she knows. I have no idea.
You've had to like surmise at this point. You've had to start to like look back and think about it. Your friends, you guys have talked.
I don't know. I mean, I think that Tyler's a great guy. I think that Peter's a great guy. It confuses me that she chose 2 other people in front of me, outside of the guys I just named. But outside of that, I honestly don't know. I think that when I look back, I think that Hannah and I can be great friends, but not great lovers. And so it takes strength to know that, right? I don't know if, like, I've dated people in the past and I'm like, man, she's an awesome woman, but I see her in a friendly atmosphere. I don't see her as a lover. And so I think that's how we work. We're not romantically inclined together.
So you felt that too?
Yeah.
Eventually you figured out you felt like that.
Yeah, I can say that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with saying that.
Yeah, for sure. Interesting. Okay.
And I think that takes maturity to say something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
To say, hey, Hannah may be better suited for somebody else. You know, I'm phenomenal. Like, somebody could break up with me and I still be a phenomenal human being, but we may not be suited together for each other. I may be better suited for someone else.
Yeah. No, I thought you handled that so incredibly well, which is why everybody fell in love with you after, obviously, because and I think, you know, that's why this book is great, is like you have a lot to share with people, right? How do we handle rejection better? I mean, you had to handle a massive rejection live in front of tens of millions of people, and you handled it with such grace and class. It's such a great example to follow.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I had to deal with rejection twice on TV, on Bachelor in Paradise too. And like I told Hannah, I just told Hannah, thank you, because she's here to find her love. And in a situation like that, I want everyone to know this. If someone breaks up with you or you break up with someone, it shouldn't be the worst feeling ever. It should be more so our brain should say, thank you for not holding me back. Thank you for not, dragging me along. And I'm happy for you because I know that you'll be able to find your love. If the real definition of love isn't about possession, right? The definition of love is to make each other happy. And so therefore, if I know that Hannah can be happier with somebody else, I'm happy for her.
Mm-hmm. Well,
And
yeah,
so I
because
think-
you're both not going to be happy. If she's not happy, then you're not going to be happy. So it's thank you for being the honest one here with your feelings so that I can be released as well.
Correct. And I think that's just how people should look at it in comparison to, oh, I hate that person or I hate that person. Like, if two people amicably broke up and like nobody did nothing crazy, of course, it should be like, man, that sucks, but I appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
That's easier said than done, of course, and I know that. I've had my heart broke. I've, been in incredible depression. I took off basically a year of work after I fell out of love, but I've since grown and learned that if you were to break up with someone, it should be a growth period of time. It should be, thank you. You taught me so much. Now I may be a better person for the person I should be with for the rest of my life.
Yeah. I really like that. I think that I think what happens is ego gets involved, right? Like if you break up with me, it's like, what's wrong with me? Why don't you want to be with me? Or vice versa, when it really just should be about, is this working? Are we growing together? There's so many different phases of a relationship and they're very challenging. And so I think that seeing examples like you're setting and sharing that advice is really helpful, because it is so easy to personalize everything. And what you were saying is stay strong in your belief of who you are. Like, you are amazing. You know you're amazing. You just might not be amazing together. And it doesn't mean that there is nobody else out there that's amazing that's going to be compatible with you. Like, I don't know why that sounds kind of mind-blowing right now, but it is. It's like, that's how we should look at it.
That is how we should look at it. And there's, like, from my last relationship that I was in prior to TV, I know that I did things wrong in that relationship, right? And so therefore, you work on those things. You thank that person and you work on those things. You should never have ego to the point to where it's like, well, they did this wrong. If you don't want me, you gave up on me. You did that wrong. It shouldn't be like that. I think that we do put ego into it, and we have to validate ourselves in a nasty way when it should be, I'm still great, thank you, in comparison to, girl, why you with him anyway? Type stuff. It shouldn't be that way.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you were together for a reason. Nothing's coincidental, right? So maybe the reason was you needed to learn this lesson, whatever that lesson is.
Very true. Very. I learned while on TV, while on Hannah season, I learned that if I want you, I'm gonna let my presence known in front of a room full of alpha males, and I give two craps about
I love it. If
it.
you
And I
were
say that
on
with
this
straight face.
season and you had to do the dodgeball event that they put on, how would that
I would have
go?
embarrassed all the guys. I would have embarrassed all my
Oh.
castmates.
But did you think, what were your thoughts on it? Because I was looking at it, I was like, this is interesting.
So my initial thoughts. It's funny you asked this question because I like this question. I saw Claire tweet something today that made me think something differently.
Ooh.
But prior to seeing her tweet, I was like, man, if I was a bachelor or when Matt James became the bachelor and he told the girls to strip, I don't think it would go so well. It's just like when Hannah was on Men Tell All and she told Peter's parents, oh, we slept together more than just 2 times. We slept together actually 4 times. I don't think that, like, if I were the bachelor, Matt James or Peter, if they said, I slept with your daughter 4 times, I don't think that would play well, right? Matter of fact, it won't play well. I'm gonna be 100 about it. It's not gonna play well.
Yeah.
But then also, from what I'm learning, because mind you, I didn't watch The Bachelor. Like, I've never been like an avid watcher of the show. No disrespect to the show. I absolutely love the show now because I've been a part of it and I know how it works, and I think you can find love on the show. But Claire tweeted something today, and I was like, the girl got a point. It was a picture of Juan Pablo and like 2 girls. All 3 of them were naked and had stuff covering them. And so both genders are naked. So if that's the case, if we're playing it fairly, it is what it is. We're all adults.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, she also was tweeting today some other stuff that I'm sure you saw that basically is saying that the Bachelor producers forced her out of this season. It wasn't her choice.
I didn't see that yet, but I'm definitely gonna look when we get off this interview. I'm gonna look at it.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think about that theory? Do you think that's possible?
I could tell you this. From what I know of Claire, and we've talked, and I think she's pretty dope. I effing love the fact that she knows the premise of the show, to find love. That's what baby girl went on the show to do. And I would do the same thing. Like, if there was 30 ladies, I'm looking for love. Like, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's the point of the show. I don't think there's nothing wrong with what she did. Now, to be direct with your question, do I think she was forced out? For one, I look at it from a contestant aspect. That would piss me off as a contestant. I'm like, hold up, I'm not good enough. Like, I would. That's where my ego would come in place. I'm like, no, producers, we're keeping Claire. I'm gonna show her I'm the right one. If I felt that, if I felt genuine with her as well, if I felt like I liked her as well. I just look at it myself as a contestant. Now, from the other head, like of producers, I don't know. If they did that, if they forced her out, I think there may be things that we don't know.
Yeah. Well, I can imagine a scenario where she's so obsessed with Dale. I mean, we all are watching it like on the show. It's hard to miss. So if she's so obsessed with Dale and she's just going through the motions, like she went on that solo date with that guy, it was her just basically giving him therapy. Like, I mean, it was sad because it was very obvious. She was like, oh, let me help you, broken wing, and let's have this amazing...
Jacob.
Right? Yeah, Jacob.
Yeah.
There was no, let me have this single date with you because I'm interested in you. It was like, I have to go through the motions of this experience.
I think that I'm giving Claire, I'm gonna help her out with this one because I can say on my season, when it got down to like maybe 10, 9, 8 of us, we all knew Hannah pretty much had her eyes set on 1, 2 guys. Like, I might be the only contestant to say that, but I'm going to speak for myself and I'll say it that way. I knew for a fact Hannah wasn't loving me. I knew if you said, Mike, right now, I'll give you $1 billion. Who does Hannah like the most? I could tell you who she liked the most. Mm-hmm. And that's natural to happen, right? If you were the Bachelorette, have 30 guys, you're not going to be sexually attracted to every single one of them.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And then let's say we narrow it down to like 14 that you're sexually attracted to, right? From those 14, 8 of them are just dumbos that you don't like from a personality aspect, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
now
you're
you
like,
got
never
6
happening,
left.
never happening, never happening. You might have a
Yeah.
chance. Never happening, never
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah, and that's human psychology. So if people were to complain about that, it's very hard to be Peter. It's very hard to be Hannah Brown. It's very hard to be Claire. It's very hard to be Matt James, like, and all the other previous contestants. It's a hard thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that if I was in that position, I would try my damnedest to give everyone a fair shot. But I know what I like from a looks perspective, and I know what I like from a personality perspective.
Yeah. Well, and your heart is your heart. If you feel a strong connection with someone, it's got to
Yeah.
be, by the way, that has to be the hardest part of this show, is having
It
to
is.
give fair and equal attention to everybody and try to make it like you're not totally obsessed with Dale and don't want to even give any of these guys a chance. But I think that's where the friction probably came in. If she was forced out, she was probably only forced out because it was painfully obvious. Everybody was affected. The guys, the producing teams trying to make things work. And it's not going to work if we don't have this moment of like, oh my God, is it Mike? Is it Dale? Is it John? Is it Jim? Oh my God, who is she going to pick? If you don't have that, the season's dead.
Yeah, I get that. I really do. But I just continue to put because I've only been in the contestant role.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine being like, hold up, Hannah, Claire, whoever, you going to notice me. I just can't imagine.
Because
how
you're
they
such a
must feel.
competitor. That's hilarious. I love it.
It's like, if I like Claire, like genuinely can see myself with Claire,
Mm-hmm.
best believe I'm going to make my presence known.
Yeah. Do you keep in touch with Claire?
No.
You don't? Okay.
I'm just,
So here's my question to you. If you have no affiliation with her, we were trying to figure out whether Dale's intentions were true, because I think he kind of just wants to be a movie star. I don't know. Just putting it out there. I don't know if he's...
Jeff and I think he wants a sugar bear hair deal.
What's a sugar bear
sugar
hair
bear
deal?
hair deal.
What's that?
Come on, you guys. All of the contestants afterwards, they get their sponsorships on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Come
Oh,
on,
okay,
come
I
on,
got you,
come
I
I
on.
got
mean, he was a
I was
Halloween
taking it
costume
literal.
model. Okay, what do you think?
I saw this weekend that Dale actually was he was a model for Party City.
Yeah, for Halloween costumes. Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
See?
Which, by the way, he's a beautiful man. By the way,
That was a good looking dude.
it makes sense that
I
he
know
was a
that.
model, but I don't know. It just and listen, it's hard with editing and TV and whatever. Like I was like, I don't know if he's 100% here for this.
I would say it like this, because I genuinely don't know. I think that, and I feel in my heart that there is absolutely nothing wrong with falling in love genuinely, and if benefits arise from being on TV when you fell in love, there's nothing wrong.
Of course, but I don't know if that's what's necessarily happening. I'm not saying 100% either way. It's just kind of one of those thoughts that popped into my head where I was like, is this guy really here for this, or is he really just here for the fun of like the glitz and the glam?
I would think that I've met Dale, and Dale is mature, and he would be playing himself if he was trying to play Claire. I'll tell you that. Because Claire, that would be a very ignorant move on Dale if he wasn't doing it for the right reason. And I know Dale, and I know he's a mature guy, so I know that I feel that he's there for the right reasons, because if he isn't, it's going to come out. You know,
Yeah.
like our moms have always told us, what you do in the dark will come out to the light.
Ooh.
And so if he ain't there for the right reasons,
Yeah.
1 year, 2 years down the road, it's going to be hell to pay for him.
Yeah, well, she doesn't play. You're right. And it will be challenging for sure, because nobody's going to want her heart played with and the whole thing. I hope he is.
Yeah.
I hope he's there for the right reasons.
He's there for the right reasons.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's there for the right reasons.
Okay. I like that.
I'm giving him good energy.
I love it. That's what we want. We want the romance. We want the true. But there's the skepticism too when you're watching things. Sometimes you're like, I don't know.
I mean, that's the fun part. That's the fun part, right? To come up with different theories of how you think things are going to play out.
Totally.
I'm a fan too. You know, I like watching and seeing what's going on.
Oh yeah, we watch. I mean, I think it brings the good and the bad out of us sometimes.
It
Where you're
does.
like,
Totally.
that's
It
why
does.
I don't like. We were starting to do like live viewings, and I'm like, ooh, I don't like where this brings me. This brings me to like places I don't want to be, where I'm critical or judgmental, and even though it's in a fun context, You guys are still people, right? And
I love that you said that.
Yeah.
It's so true.
And that's something that
so
actually I saw, when I was researching you for the interview. I remember there was an interview you talked about having to develop a thick skin and how challenging it was once you got, this kind of fame that comes with The Bachelor. And something I wanted to ask you was, did you have an opinion about celebrity before you became one? And now how has it changed?
One, I don't think I'm a celebrity at all.
I'm interviewing you. You're a celebrity.
True.
Well then, darling, I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. I spent 20 years interviewing celebrities, so there we go. You've got the official accreditation.
True.
I'll take it. I think that I definitely was the same. I was just like everyone else. I would have my voice, and I would be critical. And it's embarrassing to say, but it's the absolute truth. Like I like looking at Jada Pinkett and Will Smith, right? I think of them as like the couple since I was a child, or Beyonce and Jay-Z. And I said things when things would come out into the media. Now I know how the media part works. I would have my say with my friends, and we would go in like the barbershop talk, is what we would say. But now, since I'm a celebrity, and on the other side, it's nasty. I was dating this girl at one time, and people were judging us, judging her, judging me because they didn't like the person that I chose to be with. Like, excuse me, do you got to sleep in my bed? So
Yeah.
it's crazy, but I know that if those individuals were to speak to me, they would absolutely find me a breath of fresh air.
When you don't know what it's like to walk in someone's shoes, right? It's that whole thing.
So
and
true.
Celebrity and media
true.
is such a different beast that it's
I
so
feel bad
easy.
for her. I'm sorry.
No, it's so easy to judge and be critical.
It's so easy because we're so far removed, right? Like, I could say things about LeBron James. I don't know him. But in sports, our job as spectators and to be fans of sports is to talk crap about the sport.
Oh,
right?
biggest one right here.
It's literally
Biggest
what we're
shit
supposed to
talker.
do.
Biggest shit talker. It was so funny. I actually have the best LeBron story because I would shit talk him so hard. Every time I would see him, I'm like, you and your big decision. I'm like, my guys, the big three, they came out together in solidarity. They're a team. Talking about the Celtics. And I'm like, and they always have your number. And Tony Allen guards you better than anybody else. Blah, blah, blah. I would shit talk. And so at the NBA All-Star game, Kobe came up to me. I'll never forget. I was on the red carpet, and he kind of like looked me up and down, and I had all my green, my Celtics gear. He's like, you really take up for your guys, huh? And I go, hell yeah. And so someone told me that backstage in like the dressing rooms or whatever, the locker rooms, LeBron was like, man, she really takes up for you guys to Garnett. And I was like, yes.
That's love right there. That's love.
Oh,
Even
my
though
God.
Paul Pierce be tripping.
Oh my God.
Paul Pierce be hating.
He's the
Paul
best.
hates on LeBron so much.
Oh no, I made him hate on LeBron. I have another story. So was it 2 years ago? We were in the playoffs against Cleveland 3 years ago. When was it? It was before he moved over to the Lakers. Anyway, he was still with Cleveland.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. And so I'm courtside with Mr. Kraft, the owner of the Celtics, the Patriots, like everybody, courtside with all of them. And I grab Paul and I go, let's fuck with LeBron. And he goes, okay. And I didn't know he was going to do it. Like most people are like, oh no, I can't do that, whatever. I'm like, let's fuck with him. So we stood underneath the basket as he was practicing just before game started. What's up? What's up? He's just like looking at us. I mean, they know I'm out of my friggin' mind, but it is fun. And that is our job. And when you do it in the right way, they get it and we get it.
Yeah.
It's a different thing in celebrity world though, because that's where it's not acceptable in that way because it's not teams.
You just made me think of something though. Even when it's not teams, when you do it in person, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
It's different because, like, me and the homies always talk about when you see on Instagram, it's always that person that talks crap who has 0 followers. They have 0 posts, but they follow like 1 million people, and they're like in their mom's basement.
Yeah.
Those are the people that piss us off because we don't know their intent, right? Like LeBron, no, you don't hate him.
No, of course.
He pisses off your team, right? That's what he's supposed to do, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's like all in love. But when someone says, LeBron, why did you marry Savannah? It's like, bro,
Yeah.
what the hell does that got to do with anything?
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. That's where like lines get crossed.
Stuff like that is like, come on, bro, you tripping.
Yeah. It is an interesting world out there. Well,
Definitely so.
what was your experience like kind of bearing soul in this book? Was it hard for you?
The hardest part of this book was honestly talking to my mom. And that's just because there's so much information in this book that my mom had no idea. It was just me. I dealt with it. I internalized it. I've, lashed out about it, and I've grown from it. And my mom knew none of that process. She knew so many different things within the book. And so obviously the right thing as a son is to talk to my mom, my dad, my sister, my grandma prior to the being release of the book, so they don't have any, whoa, what is this? Their friend reads it or whatever. So having that conversation with her was the hardest part. And I will tell this to everyone, having those courageous conversations are normally the hardest thing to do. But once you have it, it's such an amazing feeling afterward. Like the bond, it grows even closer. My mom told me, she'll probably get mad if I say it on air. She told me some crazy things that she did back in her day. Let's just say that.
Interesting.
She did a lot of crazy stuff that my sister and I never knew she did. So it was really good to have that bond and be like, oh, you're actually a human being. You're not Miss Perfect Mom.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. And for me, it was a bit nerve-wracking to talk about the things that I did that I am not proud of, but that didn't hurt me as much because, quite honestly, I'm able to reach someone that has done things that are just as bad, if not worse, and let them know that they can come back and do great things still, and they don't look at me as, oh, bro, you've never done nothing bad. It's more of, oh, wow, he did that, and he went to that.
Yeah.
I want to talk to him.
Well, we need all examples because we're all different.
Correct.
And we're all on different journeys, and you're not defined by one moment. And
I talk about that in my book. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Look at you. Thank you.
Are you, I know you've had some interesting loves along the way. Demi Lovato. Are you in love now?
I am not in love now.
She is back on the market, though.
I am not in love. I am, making the love that I want and love my life. I am single and happy.
Single and happy. And you're going to be attacking that Austin dating scene, I imagine.
Not really. It's not. Connor and I went out, my roommate. We went out this past weekend, and it's COVID. So in order to go somewhere, you have to have a table already. And we don't know nobody in Austin. So it's kind of hard to socialize and mingle in that regard. I think we got to get a dog.
Yeah, pronto. Preferably a little fluffy one because they're going to be like, oh my God. Or a golden.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need a golden too. Yeah, COVID dating. How is that working? It doesn't work at all.
I've dated in COVID, and I think the first person I dated during COVID, we stopped talking because of the distance. But I mean, it was great. We would still do dates. I'm a romantic at heart. I don't think there's nobody better than me when it comes to thinking of surprises and just making you feel good and happy. Nobody's better. So that sounds so cocky, but I think that I'll make my lady happy. And so, I mean, there's all kind of things you do. If you want to make somebody happy, you won't let nothing stop you. It's really simple in life.
Yeah.
If you live a million miles away and it's the internet, all kind of things that I can do to make you happy. Interesting. All kinds of things I can do to make you happy.
So can we understand what the heck happened? Why they didn't choose you for The Bachelor? Why?
I don't know. I genuinely do not. I do not know. I was told that. Well, I read and I was told they felt that Peter would give them more. Peter would give them better 22 hours of content for TV.
Is it because you're
That's what
too
they felt.
nice and too sweet?
Peter is sweet. Peter is nice.
I
Is
didn't
that what
watch
you
his
asked?
season.
Yeah,
I don't know
it was
anything about
okay.
Peter.
It was okay.
Was he boring?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, Mike, come on. Come on. Come on.
Like what? I mean, what do
But
we
he
have
was
to
nice.
do?
Peter and I, we're good homies, but Peter knows we're very different, right?
Yeah.
And so we're different in the type of women we like. We're different in, we both love to have fun and like, shoot the shit. But we're very different. And I am way more outspoken, way more outspoken. If you watch Hannah's season, I don't hold back at all.
That would have been great 22 hours of content, though.
That's what I thought, but they thought differently.
Okay. So now what do you do from here?
Continue being a badass. What you mean?
Well, I mean, like life-wise, career-wise, like it's like, what do you do from here?
So I have a best-selling book, which is amazing to be a self-published author. I am working on 3 other projects right now, which I can't talk about just yet. I will say that I've left clues and breadcrumbs along the way so people can find out, but I don't think nobody will figure it out except for my roommate.
I'm pretty good. What are the breadcrumbs you've left?
The title of my first book.
Mm-hmm.
I've said little cheeky things here and there.
Okay.
I tweet some stuff every now and then,
Okay.
and that's all I'll say.
Okay.
And I just created a TV show during COVID. We shot, filmed, and edited it. So that's out. That'll be out soon as well.
Where is that going to be out?
I'm shopping into different networks right now.
Oh, got it.
But it's about basically I want the viewers to be able to, when they watch it, lower their insecurities, raise their self-love, and incite conversation that's like real. It was the first season was about motherhood. Like we had one episode about these 2 lesbians that one is apprehensive about having a child because of how her coworkers will treat her, when it shouldn't even be a thought. We have one episode about postpartum depression. We have one episode. I mean, there's just dope stuff.
Interesting.
Just a lot of dope stuff.
It's interesting that you're delving into kind of women's issues. Tell me why.
I'm delving into men's issues as well, but we're starting with this one. Probably because I just grew up with 3 women.
Okay.
My mom, my sister, my grandma. And so therefore, growing up, I hear them bicker. I hear them happy. I hear them cry. I hear them cry of tears of joy, tears of sadness. And I think that I just understand a woman's plight a bit more than the average guy.
Interesting.
I don't understand women in total because I'm not one. But I just think, and then also I think that women are stronger in the sense that you guys will be more willing to watch something and compare if this subject matter in comparison to a man, because a man is like, nah, bro, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know, which is like, nah, bro, you ain't good.
The second you think you're good, it's like you don't know everything. That's what we're here to do, to know better and get better every single day.
My personality is I'm trying to always. I remember I dated this woman when she was 39 years old. I was 19.
Whoa.
And I asked her one question, and I'll never forget it for the rest of my life. I said, how do I not be like the guy that you're divorcing right now? And she told me, never get stuck in your ways, always learn, and always please your lady. And so I think I just look at things differently, because I know most guys are like, yeah, my lady, she's satisfied when she's in the back like, I faked it 10 times.
Wow. That is good advice. Mike, you're an interesting guy. I really think I think you have a lot ahead of you, and I really am glad that you came on the show and glad you shared such important advice for people. I think is like really great takeaway for people to apply to their lives. We all need examples. You see it, you can be it. We hear it all the time. And I think you're a great example for a lot of different reasons. So thank you.
I appreciate that. Am I interesting bad or interesting good?
No, interesting great.
The word interesting, we always say that like, that food was interesting.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No, you're right. You're right. It can have some bad. No, I mean, I'm going deep. Like I'm like, there's a lot in
I
there.
appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Definitely so.
Well,
Thank you for having me on.
of course, and have an amazing day in Austin. And I can't wait to hear about you finding love. And I hope that we get to see that somehow.
I'm sure it'll be out somehow one day, whenever it does happen,
Yeah.
on TV or off.
I have a feeling. All right, take care. Have a good one.
Y'all have a great one.
If you guys want to find Mike's book, you can, of course, get it. Just click the link in the summary, or you can go to MikeJohnsonSmile.com. If you like today's episode, check out episode number 70 with Kyle Richards, who opened up a lot on the show. And then join us tomorrow. We're having I'm so excited. We're having a conversation with the legendary Cindy Crawford about her own journey to self-acceptance. I am so giddy about this conversation. In the meantime, you can follow us at Better Together with Maria, at Mike_Johnson, at Jeffrey Crane Graham, at Kelsmeyer2. And remember, be nice people, make good choices, and be present.